Everybody can go. Everybody can go. Everybody can go.
Hi, friends, and welcome to Everybody Can't Go podcast. I am Whiskey, your host, and I'm here with TK. What's good?
What's going on?
Listen, we had episode 3. We made it.
Episode
We
three.
did it, Joe.
We did it, Joe. We doing it, Joe.
We doing
We
it,
doing
Joe. I love having special guests, right? But I also love like where we just get to chop it up
it.
on
Yeah,
these episodes. So yeah, it's good to see you. Good to catch up with you. You had a big weekend.
yeah. Did.
You want to talk about it a little bit?
Oh man, I think I'm still like decompressing. It was a great
Yeah.
turnout. Interpretations 8 um at Creative Suitland this weekend. Just had a dope time.
Yeah.
Pulled off some new stuff, pulled off some new tricks out my hat. Um,
Yeah.
prop sets and changes and switches. But I mean, I think it turned out to be a good show. You were there. You tell me. What do you
I
think?
was there.
What do
You
you
know, it was I. Listen,
think?
it was a
I let it.
production. And that's what I love. I actually really love that. And I think that's like the new wave, especially
Yeah,
if you want people to come out and spend their money and have an experience. Like,
yeah,
give them the whole thing. And the thing that I love about it is like, it's a really Black, like, community experience.
yeah,
Like going outside to the barbecue food truck and like chatting with those guys and like making
yeah,
jokes and stuff. And then going to see the art exhibits and stuff like in the lobby creative suitland area and like talking to the vendors and stuff, and then going into like, I love the way it's set up where it's like you go into the room where the show is happening,
yeah,
so there's like different immersive experiences that you
yeah,
can like glom onto. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and the fact that you had all the prompts and the like, I really love Mava's set where she was talking to her inner little girl, I guess, and she sat
yeah,
down and was talking to. That was so moving, and just like
yeah.
having the props there and stuff, like took it up like an extra notch. So
So,
yeah,
so
it
what's
was.
so what's crazy for people that don't know? Maybe you were
Mhm.
there, maybe you weren't there. The artist was singing the set for the first time. They
Oh,
didn't
really?
know. Yeah, they didn't know. So Kim did know she was gonna have a small chair just because um she told me that she wanted to talk to her younger self. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let me figure out. And I kind of tossed that idea around, but that was the first person I talked to in my planning.
Yeah.
So after that, I didn't really tell anybody else. So everybody that walked on stage to a set they had never seen or heard anything about
Oh,
before.
that's
And the
cool.
only thing that Kim knew that was going to be on the stage was the small chair. So she didn't know about some of the other elements too. So it was really designed for them to like step back in time in a way. Like I wanted them to walk into it and feel like they had time traveled back into that
Yeah,
space, so to really like conjure up the emotion that came along with the piece. So
I love
it
that.
was really a show. It was really a show really designed
Yeah.
for the artists to really feel and work through their feelings while the audience watched. A lot of what the audience was seeing, they didn't know they were seeing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the artist was feeling it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Dope stuff. Dope stuff.
Listen,
Can't
it
wait.
really was. And I think it's so cool. And it was good to be in the audience. Listen, that your show tears me up. And I was like, I'm not in a season where I can heal in front of people all like that. So we're gonna bow this one out, right? Because it's just like a vulnerability thing, and
Yeah,
it's a being seen thing, and it's a
yeah,
lot.
yeah.
So like kudos to all the artists who were on the set and did their thing. I thought this was the best one yet. I thought the
Like,
artists seemed comfortable, and I think you do have like a groove of like there's OG artists who've been there since Interpretations One, and then now I see we're kind of like cycling out, and you're bringing on new people. So I think like the trajectory of this is like huge and awesome. So
I
yeah,
appreciate that.
kudos.
Thank you
Yeah,
so. And the
kudos.
OG is always welcome. Once you hit the stage, once you're invited every time, and
Oh, I know. I could just
I'm
show
just
up
glad
and just
that
do a
I'm
poll.
I'm just glad that I haven't gotten to the point where I've had like 25 people be like, I want to do it, because I don't want to have to figure out how to make that work. You know what I mean? It always works that I get just enough yeses to
But
make a
you can
show
always
work.
expand. You can always
Oh
do
yeah,
like you've done open mics and stuff
yeah,
before where it's like
yep.
interpretations of yeah. So there's always I love this because people want to emote, they want the platform, and yeah, so I figure you'll like expand once
Yeah,
people
I
start
figured it
chomping
out.
at the bit. Yeah.
Yeah, figure it out. But
You
thank
know
you.
how that works. The
Yeah,
thing that you
totally.
say you don't want to happen or word it's about to
It's gonna
happen.
happen.
That's how that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, period. Period.
Period.
But I'm just
Yeah.
glad we got to kick it outside of here. You know what I'm saying? Even though, it was there. Even though I was busy, and just always good seeing you still.
Oh yeah, likewise. Period. We look so cute in that picture. I was like, don't be
Yeah,
trying to
we
bury
did.
that in a reel. I need that.
We
We gonna
did.
use that for some
Yeah.
sort of promotion.
Outside. We was outside.
But
We
we was
always have a dope
outside.
picture though when we out.
We
We always have a
do.
dope picture, I must say.
Yeah, when we get a chance to take one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we be busy. It's a
We do.
busy season.
We do. We do.
But I do
Speaking
want
of,
to prioritize like friendships and stuff. Like my birthday is coming up
come on, birthday.
Wednesday.
Come on,
Yeah,
birthday.
so I've been doing like little things or finding like a bunch of little things to do. So yeah, we gotta have a brunch. We gotta do
We
something.
must. We
We
must.
must.
We must.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been I don't know, it's been like an interesting month for me and it's only April 9th.
Yeah.
I think I've been really doing a lot of deconstructing. And I think we all should be deconstructing everything. That's my controversial thought, right?
Yep.
And certain things have come up that are recurring and some things are new. So the thing that I'm thinking about now is that I have this show coming up April 25th, everybody,
Come
an
on.
alternative show. Make sure you come out to Capitol Heights, secret location.
Come on.
um and you know what it is to like promote and have to be so visible on
Yeah.
top of the visibility of already being an artist, on top of the visibility of being a Black woman, on
Yeah.
top of the visibility of, just the hyper surveillance that you feel as a woman from the time that you're like 9. And then add an artist to that. It's just a lot. And I've been taking a back seat the past couple years because I wanted to make sure I grieve properly and like yeah, have my stuff together. But now I'm really thinking a lot about what's been helping me to be hyper visible is thinking a lot about David. I always think about David. I always
Yeah.
think about the amount of rejection he experienced throughout his life,
Yeah.
how he had to deal with people loving him one minute, then hating him the next. One minute he's with his homies, then he's the enemy.
Yeah.
One wrong decision, everybody turns against him. And even like his fixation on, I forget, I think it was one of his military men said when his son was trying to kill him, his military man was like, you are so focused on the people that hate you, you're not paying attention to those who love you.
Yep.
And that's something that always grounds me in these seasons where I feel like hyper seen. I feel social media has allowed us a way to invite people into our space to ignore us.
Yeah.
And that doesn't sit right with me every
Yeah.
time. Like I
Yeah.
start like doing
Yeah.
this. But then I remember that's part of it, right? And like the stakes were a lot higher with David. So who am I to be complaining about this? So yeah, I've
Oh
just been
man,
like
facts.
deconstructing my thoughts around like rejection and how that works when you're highly visible versus when God hides you, and how to still be bold within your art. And I won't babble too much because I think I'm going to go live and talk about it a little bit later. But it's just something I've been really fascinated by, because I think a lot about how social media affects how bold we show up in our art. And I don't think people realize how difficult it is to be an artist right now during cringe culture, when people are so judgmental, so
Yeah.
opinionated, so contrary. And it's like you forget what artists are for. And I think we've forgotten what we are for. So it's like all this identity surrounding that I've been into. I've been sick, so I've had plenty of time to ruminate. So
And get
that's
your
been
mind right.
had to get my mind right. But yeah, that's kind of like what's been on my mind. And yeah, I just have so many thoughts about it.
No, I mean, I understand what you're saying because
Does that make
it.
sense?
I mean, 100%. And in the process of going through all of that, you have to still manage to hold on to yourself. You know what I'm saying, and not get lost in
Yeah.
all of the things you were trying to figure out what to internalize, what to reject. You know what I'm saying? As
Yeah.
you're experiencing all of that, and still, to your point, be visible for all the reasons that you need to be, in order to promote, in order to be a change agent. Like, we literally have to be here to do the
Yeah.
job. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
can't do the job in the corner. There is time for the wilderness. There is time to be alone. There
I
is time
love
for isolation. And
those.
yes, we know you would rather be there than be here every time. But there are many times where we have to
You're
step
like,
out.
shut up, Whiskey. You have made it clear that you always want to be alone. We
But
get it.
but sometimes we need you out here with us to do the job. And while we're out here, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot to juggle. It's a lot
It's a
to
lot to
juggle.
juggle.
So I understand exactly what, and figuring out a way to set an example so
Yeah.
that people that are watching also learn how to do what we are learning how to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's something that
Yes.
we have mastered. We are
No.
literally learning how to do it as we go, hoping that we are showing people the best way that we can do it so they can
Yeah.
identify and do the same thing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that actually does put an interesting amount of pressure on being an artist and being out and
It
about.
puts in an immense amount of pressure.
Yeah.
And then for me, I struggle with feeling appropriated and consumed, because I know that people are inspired, but you don't always get that, right? And it comes off like a everyone's watching. Like, it's so weird, this thing people do where they watch your stories but they don't like double tap on what you post on
Yeah.
your feed. And I was like, I think that's creepy. And it's so, and I shouldn't even say this because I posted my stories knowing that people are going to get information from there, or they
Yeah.
want to watch stories. But if you notice, I don't watch anybody's stories because I just think it's weird to just watch people without engaging, right? And
Gawk
I'm
and
like,
don't engage. To gawk and don't engage.
yes. And
You
I
know
was
what I'm
like, not
saying?
even once in a while. I think it's so interesting the way that social media has kind of changed the way that we engage with each other. And I think there's part of it that makes it feel dehumanizing. It feels like I'm not real. And like you said, you have to kind of ground yourself back to your why, right? And I remember, yeah, that's something that I've been thinking about. Like, I have to remember, like, who I am here for. I'm here to serve, right? I want to
Yeah.
be with the people who are excluded. I want to be with the
Yeah.
misfits. I want to be with the people who feel they don't belong, because that's why I got into this, right?
Yeah.
And then it takes a certain level of failing forward in front of people. And that's the thing I posted yesterday that blew my mind. Like, you have to be witnessed in your desire for something. You have to
Yeah.
be witnessed trying for something. And I was like, that's it. I have the show. I really want people to come. But the nature of today is that you got to play it cool. And you, no, come to the show. It's
Yeah.
gonna be lit. I'm gonna
You know
post
what I'm
about
saying?
it every
Yeah,
day.
come on.
But then
Why
when
are you why
nobody
are you not there
engages,
yet? Why are you
right?
not there yet?
But then we start to measure our worth and measure like the quality of the show, of the art, based on how people react to it. And we give people too much power to
Yeah.
reject us. And I think people like that power. And I'm trying to find ways to speak up about it without being a jerk. Like, tomorrow I have a live set at Buzzboy. So I was like, you know what? I have nothing to lose. So let me
Yeah.
just speak on these things the way that we reject each other in energy in ways that artists need to be more supportive of each other so that we can be bolder on the forefront when we do these things. Yeah, it's just something I'm really like passionate and fixated
Yeah,
on. I missed
but
the
also
comment that came up, but
it puts us in a position where we also kind of reject ourselves, because in that second
exactly.
guessing of it, you know what I mean? Now it's like, well, I don't want to be too forward, and I don't want to keep bringing this up, and I don't want to be like pressuring people. Yes, I do. I know I have a
Yeah,
message. I know I have a job. You know what I'm saying? I know why I'm here. And in order for people to hear said message, they have to show up. And it's my job to get them there. At the same time, understanding that whoever's in the room, and I say this all the time, whoever's in the room, it was meant for them. So whether it's a room full of
exactly.
100, or if it's a room of two, that
Right.
one other person other than you can be the game changer for you. You really
Yeah.
only need one person. So
Yeah.
it's not really in the quantity, it's in the quality. But of course, in the world that we are working in and the efforts we're putting forth, obviously the numbers do matter. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
Like,
that's really hard.
yeah, to like
Yeah.
find the way to balance the two of those things and staying like 100% true to the overall mission and the vision, and being so in tune with that, that the rest of it just has to take it. And that's something that I can say that I do. But I think that also I am working within myself to perfect a model that works for
Yeah.
interpretations. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
exactly why I build the show the way that I do, with as many artists, you know, so many different backgrounds. It is a
Yeah.
working model that takes care of itself. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
if I was featuring or headlining a show, I mean, I don't know if I could pull that off in the same capacity. It's a totally different model. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
something else I would have to work towards differently. But I totally understand what you're saying, because you want people to come out and hear all the work. You're doing the work. You know what I'm saying? Somebody should see it.
Yeah. Well, and well, just to just go there and get into it, the other thing is like the being a woman thing, and it happens a lot in energy, but I've been paying a lot of attention to how people regard women, even like me having as many guy friends as I have, even the
Yeah.
ones who are aware of like what we deal with. There still a barrier of understanding and certain expectations people have of women. And there's this thing where we have to play humble. And I
Yeah.
noticed the hip hop guys that come to my show, they got 11 kids, all their niggas are in the background. But with a woman, you have to play it so humble and cool. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore because I put in a lot of work and practice into what
That's
I do,
it.
and I've been doing it for years. So it's a form of like playing small or diminishing myself to market the show. Like, hey guys, come out to my. No, it's going to be dope. I have a reputation for like producing good work. So come, like, reap, eat of the fruit because it's
Show up
popping over
big.
here.
Show up bold.
Yeah.
Show
But
up big.
people do
Show up
not
bold.
like that boldness from women unless it comes in a certain form. And that's the thing that I'm navigating because I realized that's kind of why I backed away from before. And
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, oh, shoot, I need to start posting every day to promote the show. And then I was like, well, I don't want to get on people's nerves. And I was like, I really just thought I'm going to get on people's nerves on
Yeah.
my page,
Nerves.
on my. What? That's
On the
crazy.
Yeah, get on their nerves. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why you have to do it, honestly, because the way social media is set up, it's almost it's very deceiving, right? In your
Yeah.
head, people are seeing all this shit. They not. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I
there are
don't
so
think
many
people
people,
understand that having an
they're
event
not
and posting
seeing
the
all of it.
flyer, they're not, you have to like heave them. It takes at least 11 times in front of someone for them to commit it to
Yes.
memory. But then to make it a thing like, oh, I'm going to go. Why should I go? You have to hit it hard like all the time. And I
Yeah.
think I've worked with people who are like, yeah, we're going to do an event. And then they just post the flyer once and they'll be like, oh my God, we got like thousands of likes. So many people are coming. And I just laugh to myself, like, no, they're not. They're
No,
just engaging like
yeah.
mindlessly with
They
something.
actually
So,
they like your flyer. That's what it is.
right.
They like your flyer.
That's
They like
it.
what you
Right.
they saw what you did there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they are definitely not coming.
Yeah, and it's so weird because I've taught myself to engage in social media in a way that is like very like I pay attention. Like I don't double tap on stuff because I don't want to come into agreement with stuff I don't agree with. Like I used to try to like go through and double tap on everything, and then there will be a second part of the video where I'm like, oh no, what?
Oh, abort, abort.
Right.
I didn't see that part.
Right, right. So it's like I try to treat it like a job. I go on social media and I'm like, I want to uplift Black women. I want to leave
Yeah,
emojis on what they doing. I want
yeah,
to see what events I'm going to. I want to see what's popping tonight or what week or this weekend. Like I need to pop up at shows to promote this show. So I've been going online looking at events I can go
yeah,
to. And then I realized like, oh, that's not how people engage in it though. So like I
yeah,
can't like adapt to that model for promoting and marketing to other people. So anyway, it's just something I've been really in my head about because I haven't popped out. Like I used to be going, 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 like, and I haven't gone like this in years. And I'm not exhausted like physically. I'm more just like puzzled by the nature of people. And I'm just like, how are we going to get back to community when this is the way we act with each other? But
yeah.
that's not my problem to
I mean,
solve.
I'm telling you, that's a conversation we're just gonna continue to have. I think we're gonna be having it till the end of time because people have changed.
Yeah.
So I mean, social media has while there is a bridge there, there's also a barrier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because of the duality of the experience, you know what I mean? There's always going to be something giving and there's going to always be something taken. And sadly, there's a lot of times there's a lot more taking, and being in
Yeah.
the artist community, I think that in itself creates that wedge and space and
Oh
gap.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
everybody's trying to be seen, heard, and felt without seeing, hearing, and feeling, but wanting to play connection.
Period.
And that's why I kept,
Yes.
when I did the live last week and, even on stage the other day, like trying to reinforce the fact that art should not be manipulative or performative. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
should not be either of those things. And where
Right.
that exists, there's already a crack, you know what I'm saying, in the process and the system. And that's how you start letting all that weird shit in. You know what I mean? So
Precisely.
it's a tough it's a tough place to navigate. But I always say, man, we got to be out there. Somebody got to be able to touch the hem of the garment. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So we got to be
Listen,
out there. We got to be
we have
out
to
there,
be out
even
there. The
though
thing that keeps
even
me
though
grounded,
yeah,
like if
even
you're
though the crowd sometimes is weird.
the crowd is weird, but I always tell artists like, listen, whether you read the Bible, believe in God, if you think of it as just a book of fables, right? I have a friend that's like, it's just fun stories. I'm like, okay, whatever, just read them.
Yeah,
But the
facts.
story of David always really helps me when I am like super in the spotlight. How fickle people are with the people that they want to win,
Yeah,
and how it goes from wanting you to win to not wanting you to win. I talk a lot about this on the Patreon about jealousy and envy because I don't think we're doing that work, and I think it's a nasty spirit that is running through our country, our world right now. And I think we need to read up on like what the Bible says about that and how
yeah,
dark and energy that can be.
yes,
And yeah, it's all about you can't control other people.
yeah,
So I'm just trying to do my inner work to make sure that I'm coming from a good place and making sure that yeah we're poets, right? So making sure I'm aware of the power that my words have. So when I'm feeling like saucy, like right now, I'm like, it's my birthday, kid. Nobody tell me that
now
but like but
I'm here
making
to turn it
sure
up.
I'm responsible with that and I don't just like burn everything down out of resentment for what we have done to the arts
Yeah,
community. So I'm working on it.
yeah. And here's the thing, going back to what you just said about jealousy and envy, like keep in mind, you know, a lot of the stories that you read about, um, they are like inside of family units. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
you understand like the depth of a brother being jealous of another brother who
Yeah.
comes from the same mother or father, and that
Yeah.
being a thing, just imagine the energy that exists for people who don't even know. Because really,
Right.
we talked about this before, but a lot of times artists are not actually friends. They are playing friends in a community, but they don't even know anything that's really like intimate about the person they're sitting next to. You
Not
know
you
what I'm
going
saying?
there.
Oh,
Not you
sorry,
going
sorry. No,
there.
no, sorry. I'm just saying, like, at the end of
No,
the
but
day,
that's
like,
real.
they're not. You're these people aren't even friends, so
Yeah.
you know that they're sitting there on some sly shit already because they really just not friends.
Which is why I don't think we should play it as if we have to be friends with
Different.
everyone we're
Thank
in
you.
community with. You
Thank
should
you.
really see who aligns and who is trustworthy. And
Yeah.
then when I walked it back and realized like, oh, everybody's not my friend and everybody I can't trust, but I can root for them because we're doing the same thing.
Correct.
Because the goal is to reach people. At its core, the arts are important because we need to, and this, I love this. This bleeds into our topic today about spiritual bypassing, right?
Yeah.
With everything going on in the world. And I think a lot of artists are feeling weird about still posting about their art, still creating art. I think we have to realize that this is, I don't know. I lost my train of thought actually. And
That's all right.
that happens. But
Yeah, it does.
what was
And
I saying? Was go ahead.
no, I was gonna
It'll
say,
come to me.
like you were. I think it's just kind of segueing into it. Like we don't have to be friends. We have to recognize like why we're here, right? You know what I mean. Going back to what
Yeah,
we said at the
while we're
beginning,
here,
the
that's what I
job,
remember.
the
Yeah.
job at hand. You know what I'm saying? The task.
The job is to root up emotions in people. We are not fine. We are
No,
okay. We
no.
are operating out of our like out of a sleep version of ourselves. We're operating out of things that don't matter and we forget what it is to be in company with someone, to enjoy awe and beauty and
Yeah,
the little things
yeah,
like I've been sick, but I went to like wash clothes today and I went outside. I was like, oh my God, it's so nice. And I walked around the block and I was like, I feel so good just
yeah,
being outside.
yeah,
We're losing what it is to be outside for the sake of being out in nature. We're
yeah,
losing what it is to like hear good news from somebody and cry because you're so excited.
yeah,
All of those things that you get from really deeply connecting with other humans, that is what art is for. It's always to reconnect you back to that. And
yeah,
I feel like once we as artists remembers that we're all coworkers, we're all like on that same fight, but we're not all friends. So that's
yeah.
why I can always love and root for whoever, but I can't give access to everybody
That's
because
right.
that's the other thing I'm processing, just being burned from
That's right.
and people not understanding how I have to operate, you have to operate, some people operate. It's not spiritual bypassing to us. It is literally a peace that surpasses all understanding.
Facts.
It's a
Facts.
mode and a lifestyle that we have had to adapt in order to do this work.
Yeah.
And that work is accessible to everybody. So that's kind of the topic for today. Like, is it Psalm
Here we go.
91?
Here we
Or
go.
is it spiritual
Yeah.
bypassing?
Yeah. And when you think about it, which do you feel like people operate in most?
I think people operate in spiritual bypassing the most. I think that with so first of all, for people who aren't familiar, Psalm 91 is like the go-to scripture that I remember like reciting this over and over in
Yeah.
church when we had the sniper back in 2002 and we were at war, right? So it's like this beautiful psalm that David wrote, basically about protection. Like
Yeah.
there's pestilence happening, there's arrows like
Yeah.
flying by and people beside me are dying, and like there's
Right.
all this chaos in the world, but I believe in safety from in the most high. I
Yeah.
believe it's like the Psalm 23, like
Yeah.
he's leading me
Yeah.
to like green
Yeah.
pastures, like I'm good
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah.
And I think that most Christians operate out of the spiritual bypassing. And I say that because I've done it before.
Yeah.
My entire beginning of my arts career, even though I wasn't like following God at the time, but it was all not real. I had not done any deep work, but I was talking about self love very
Yeah.
deeply. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
do this and that. And we think we have
Yeah.
all the tools. But then
Yeah.
when you actually experience peace and joy, you're like, oh,
You're right. Wake up call. You know what I mean?
right.
Wake up
Right.
call.
When people can keep dying in your family and I'm
Yeah.
not insane
Yeah.
and I'm still here,
Facts. Facts.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
that's something
Yeah.
deeper. I feel like it's easy to get away with spiritual bypassing in this fake it till you make it kind of thing. But I want us to really get there. But I don't know how to explain it to people how you get there other than being letting them witness my journey. So what are your thoughts on how do you communicate that?
So I think that, you know, when I was going to ministry school, a lot of times they would say, they would like coin this phrase, and you probably heard it, about head knowledge versus heart knowledge, right? And I
Mhm.
think that that is, if I had to explain it any kind of way, I think it's just really about the level of your experience. Like sometimes you say things because you heard it, and it just becomes a thing that you say. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You people say, "Greater is He that is in me than he that's in the world." They say that
Yeah.
because they've heard it. They say that because it sounds good. They say that
Mhm.
because, you know what I mean, that's just one of the mantras that's being played in the room. But if you really sat down and broke down what you are saying, you know what I'm saying, and really like thought through and felt through what you were saying, a lot of the people at the time that I was hearing say that, their actions did not actually align with what they were saying. So I knew that that was
Yeah.
really in their head. You know what I mean? It had gotten trapped here, and they hadn't meditated on it long enough for it to develop
Yeah.
itself in this space. And so I feel like that's where, if I had to like help a person understand, I would say that is right inside of that space right there. You know what I mean? Where your experience and the knowing that you have watched, you know what I'm saying? Not
Yeah.
maybe literally, but figuratively. You have watched men fall at your side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have literally watched things happen right around you that should have been you. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
should have been a part of that. Instead,
Yeah.
you Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego going. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You Daniel in the den. You know what I'm saying? And you should have been swallowed up, but you weren't.
Yeah.
You've actually
Yes.
experienced it, so you're living in, you are the fruit of the work that you do. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what comes out. But when all you have is what you say,
Yeah.
and nothing, and please keep saying it until you have what let's
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
clear.
Because that's
Let's be
powerful,
clear.
right?
Let's
You
be
be
clear.
on it,
Keep
TK.
saying what you saying till you get what you saying. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if all you have, you know what I'm saying, in the moment is what you say, um, in the moment where you get to like live in the reality of it, where it becomes
Yeah.
more than words, and it becomes um more of an experience than just saying it. I think that that's where you connect the dots, and then, you know, Psalms 91 starts to do its thing.
All right, I wrote down some tangible tips
Ah!
while you were speaking. Cause
Hello. Hello.
no, but you hit all the things I was thinking about, especially when you like you still have to say it right
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's death in life in the power of the tongue, and
Word.
that's why like people talk a lot about manifestation. You know, I said words are very powerful. You just have to you have to watch who you're manifesting with. Like any spirit can come along and grant you what you need. You just have to be careful what you're coming into agreement with.
Yeah.
But there's something about scripture and something about these psalms, right? Like saying them is important. So meditate, I wrote down the like the first thing would be to meditate, right?
Period.
Meditate on the word of God,
Day
meditate
and
on the
night.
scriptures. Yeah,
Day and
day and
night.
night. And it the thing that I've learned from church really and from pastors preaching is that um the way that they not to use that word but exegesis whatever the
Mhm.
Bible, like the way they draw it out is they say you have to implement it. Like you can't just pray and do these psalms and meditate on something that you're not walking in. So
That's
I
it.
think this is where we get stuck is the
Yeah.
implementation. So
Yeah.
I put meditate and then I put act,
Yeah.
decide. You have to
Choose.
act on deciding.
That's
Act,
it.
decide what?
Yeah. No, I said choose. Yeah.
Choose, yeah.
Yeah. You are
Yeah.
choosing.
No, we gonna put this on the page
I'm
because yeah,
telling you.
I want people to have like tangible like steps for it and
Yeah.
understand that it's a process and it takes a while. But for me, I'll say and I'm sure you can attest to this, everything that has come up as an issue in my life, whether it be fear or about something specific, whatever, it an incident has come up where I've had to make a hard decision. That's the next thing where I've had to act upon it. And it's like, are you scared? Like, let's say artistry, launching a bold product or something, you have fear around like launching it, but it's like you have to choose whether you're going to do this and go all in. And once you make that decision, let everything align with that.
That's
But
it.
you have to believe in it
Yeah.
to have affirmations and mantras with God to pray on thing and then be an unbeliever that he's going to do the thing is a disrespectful thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
To yourself
once,
and God.
yeah, to yourself and God, because like without the word, I mean without the faith, like what
Yeah.
is the point of
Yeah.
it? Like why are you praying away fear but you're holding on to it?
Yeah.
So it's literally like now, like whenever I pray for something or pray about something, I'm like, okay, now I have to walk in it.
Yeah.
Now I have to be that person that's not afraid to do that. Now I have to be a woman who's
Yeah.
online every
Big
day.
and bold. Big and
Yeah, you
bold.
have to be bold in
Big and
it. You
bold.
have to
Yeah, that's
trust
it.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
confidence. I mean, and that's the root of what faith is. Confidence. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You have to have confidence in the words that you speak so that they bring life. It's the
Yeah.
confidence in the words that actually creates the life that goes along with them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that is how they start to take shape. Confidence is what breathes. That's why it says that faith without works is dead. Part of that
Yeah.
is saying, I believe in this so much that I'm going to do something. You know what I mean? I'm
Yes.
going to say and do. You know what I mean? I
I'm
believe
acting
in it
as
so
if it
much.
has happened. It is
Yes,
going to
already.
happen. I
Yeah.
have faith, so that's what I'm operating under.
I'm in expectation of
And
it.
I think with the way that we absorb all of the chaos and tragedy happening in the world at once,
Yeah.
our hearts are having a hard time digesting this,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Because
Oh yeah.
it feels like, oh, look at the Christians being dicks again. Like, of
Yeah.
course they're saved
Yeah.
and they're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yep.
it's not necessarily that. It's more like I have peace with whatever the fate is.
Yeah.
I have a belief that this is not the only life that we have.
Yeah.
And I have a belief that joy comes from the Lord,
Yeah.
that joy is a birthright,
Yeah.
right? And but the other understanding is where I think people don't want to go with it is that joy exists amongst the pain.
Yeah.
Like it's they happen coterminously. You
Yeah.
know, it's why we can
Come
go to
on,
funerals
words.
and take like
Come on, words. You might as well throw that up with a good thing. I'm starting to think we're gonna have scriptures and we're gonna have words.
and glossary.
You know what I'm saying? We have a glossary in here. People gonna leave here with new meanings, things they can use tomorrow. Say it
Well,
one
I
more
mean,
time.
that's what we're about. That's what creativity
That's
is
it.
because we're losing our critical thinking and we're starting to allow ourselves to be, I won't get too like radical with it, but we're allowed ourselves to go along with the group think and we're not grounding into ourselves, into our own personal power and the power
Yeah.
that we get from God like
Yeah.
enough because we are bigger than this. Like it's literally mental slavery. It's
Yeah.
literally like you can be free, but it's hard to think of yourself as free when we're in these
Yeah.
circumstances. And I'm just, and the way my mind is split all the time, and we say this all the time, it's always two things can be
It
true.
happened at the same time. Yeah.
There's what's happening on the ground, and there's what's happening spiritually. And you have to tap into what's happening spiritually because
Yeah.
spiritually, I'm good.
Yeah.
I understand what happens in this world. I understand how evil works, how power works, how supremacy works. I understand the demise of this world. I understand free will and the choices that people are making around me that affect me. I understand all that. But God
Yeah.
is so much bigger. And that's where it's like when when I found out that they're saying that all of this is happening because they're trying to rush the end of the world to have Jesus come back. I just kind of laughed because I was like, "You can't rush God. What? That's insane!" And it actually gave me a sense of peace because I was like, "Oh, we're good." Because one thing God don't like is trying to rush His
Yeah.
plans
Yeah.
and trying to force it to
Yeah,
happen. That's
is
witchcraft.
your plan God's plan and versus God's plan, and then you realize that your plan is just like mush. You know what I'm saying? You find out that your plan is mush when you start pushing it on God. You
Right.
know what
You
I'm
be looking
saying?
at people like, if you know what I know, you chill.
You might want to sit down. You know
You
what
might-
I'm saying? You might want to sit down and be quiet. Just sit in the corner, and be quiet. You know what I'm saying? No,
you-
I think you're right, and I think you are hitting the nail on the head. Because it it's really like the idea of being in the world but not of the world and knowing that
yeah.
all these things are happening around you. And yes, are we experiencing them in our
Oh
human
yeah.
experience? Of course, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is are these scary times? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but just because these are scary times doesn't mean that I'm supposed to be scared. You know what I'm saying? That these are scary times, but I'm not afraid. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
I know that however this turns out, wherever the end of this is already something that's defined. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That part of
Yeah.
it is very definitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And I'm
in any
scared.
time,
I
yeah,
just work on it.
yeah,
It's a
right. You know what
constant
I'm saying?
work.
Right.
Yeah.
Every day, every
Every
day,
day.
every.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you're never um quite all of it all of the time.
No.
But if you're working on all of it all of the time, and even if you're just working on some of it all
Yeah.
of the time, it all works itself out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's very intentional, and I
Yeah,
think that's the hard thing to, because I think the other tangible thing that comes with believing in safety and not being too moved by or not falling into despair with what's happening in the world. A lot of it is body work. A lot of
yeah,
it is like going out in nature. It's spending time with your friends and family. It's like doing that thing where you're connected enough to people where you're like, okay, like years ago, and I suck at this sometimes because I like to be alone.
we do know.
But it's
We,
like it's like a I want to always be thinking, if something like the other day when we're so worried about, is there going to be a bomb or what's going to
yeah,
happen, and I always want to think like, okay, but I'm content with my life. I've been doing the things that I've been wanting to do, and I've been trying my best. I've been communicating with people the way I would like to. I've been like, showing people they are loved. Like, so I want to just be good. I want to be content with that, and I think some of it has to do with our contentment. The
yeah,
fear with what's happening in the world right now is because we're scared to live our lives. And
yeah,
that's my new tagline. Like, how are you going to start a revolution when you're not really living? You
yeah,
don't have a life to fight for or to
yeah,
care about.
yeah,
You don't care about your life enough because our time is spent like going to places, trying to feel good with people who don't really like or see us,
yeah,
scrolling endlessly online, being entertained by foolishness. And I love foolishness. I'd be entertained by it, but I realize I'm better when I step away from those things and become more mindful of my time. So I think that it comes with like a recipe of things to put together so that it's not spiritually bypassing. It's
yeah.
more like a, because I have these things in place, like putting on the armor of God,
That's it.
because I have these things in place, my mental can survive what is happening.
That's
And if
it.
you look at the history of what people have survived, like the cruelty of man and the things
Yeah,
we have survived at the hands of man, like we're going to be okay.
yeah,
It's just not going to be easy, and that's the daunting part.
yeah. But see, it's one thing to be saying that, going back to people who may not be familiar with the term, it's one thing to say, everything is going to be okay, or everything happens for a reason, or whatever those little cliche terms are, right?
Yeah.
That basically cause you not to connect with the tougher or more negative feelings that's
Yeah.
happening. And the point is that you do have to sit in that. You do have
Oh,
to address
yeah.
and
Good
face
point.
that.
Good point.
And in order for it to not be bypassing, you do have to actually deal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Don't let it
when you
bypass you.
yeah, correct. And that's the issue. A lot of times,
Yeah.
people want to, whether it's their health, whether it's their wealth, whether it's their relationship, they don't actually want to deal with what's happening. It's their children,
Yeah.
whatever. Everybody wants to give it to God. And I love that for
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give it to God.
Yeah.
But are you giving it to God out of confidence because of what you believe God can do and will do? Or are you giving it to God because out of exhaustion and just like, I don't know what to do. So I'm just gonna hey God, you got, you know what I'm saying? You just tossing something out, but not really giving it to God to actually work it out. You know what I'm saying? You giving it to God just to get it out your hands. You hot potatoing with God. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like resting this thing in God's
Yeah.
hands so that the work can be done. And I think
Because that's what he
that's the
told
big,
you to do. Yeah. There's
you know what I'm
Exodus
saying?
14:14 time, and then there's time where you need to fight, where you
That's
need to
it.
take your country back.
That's
Like,
it. You know what
but
I'm saying? But you
yeah,
gotta
because
know. You gotta know that though,
you
which
have to
means you gotta be
know.
present in your feelings and what's happening and not ignoring what's around you and pretending
Yeah.
that it's gonna
Yeah.
be all right. You gotta have the confidence that it
Yeah.
will. So even when it's all in flames, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm
You can
teaching
rise above
myself
it.
to not say I hate you every time you step on my toes. So
How's that
say
working for you? How's that
so
working
I'll
for you?
say thank you for that word, because that's something I struggle with in my life, where, the perception is that I have it all together. And I love that for people who think that. I never try to portray that, but I have executive functioning issues. Like, there are things that I can do, and there's things that I just suck at, right? So, like, behind the scenes, I need to clean up my finances. There's so many things I need to do to like get my life together. And I snapped out of it yesterday. I was like, oh my God, you've been living in this kind of like depression that has flown under the radar. And it's so good. Darius Daniels, he did a sermon about like it was called Go Back and Go Get It or
Mhm,
something. And he
mhm,
talked
mhm.
about, we have to remember that Satan is still kill, destroy. So some things are stolen from you and you have to pay attention. And I was
Yes.
like, I lost a lot of moxie. There are times when I'm like on it, like my apartment's clean and I'm like hanging with the girls and I'm hitting all the points. And then I'll fall off of that and I won't even notice. And like I get up and I look around and like my room is a mess, and I'm like, I haven't left the apartment. I
Yeah.
haven't been spending time with people. I've been I it may appear I have it together, and I do in certain areas, but I've let a lot of things fall by the wayside. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, because this was stolen from me. This
Yeah.
was something I wasn't paying attention to. I
Yeah.
wasn't actively being
Yeah.
intentional about. And I think that's the thing with spiritual bypassing, is like I could continue to function the way that I am. Like, it's fine because everyone believes it's fine, so it's fine. But
Yeah.
no, I have to sit in the discomfort of my mess and be like, you've done good, but this is
But you
not
could do
your
better.
best.
Oh yeah, you've done good, but you could do better. You
You
know what
can
I'm
do
saying?
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally just had that conversation the other day because going back to what you said, like so many things are always going on. Shows happening. This hat London has dance and we got this and we got that. And before you know it, you'll look around and like this place is a wreck. And you've told yourself while you've been wrecking it
Right.
that you have an excuse because there's so many things to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, while there's so many things to do, you still find time to scroll, to binge, to
That's
this,
the
to that.
theft.
So right. Hey,
Thief.
hello. That is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was one of the things, honestly, that was kind of one of the root like mindsets about interpretations 8. That when I had the call, that's exactly what I explained. Like the thief comes to steal, kill, or destroy. That could
Mhm.
be to steal your joy, it could be
Yeah.
to destroy your purpose, kill your
Yeah.
dreams. You know, it doesn't have to be so, you know, taking a life or you know what I mean? And
Yeah. It doesn't,
sometimes
it's the small things.
that's
Yeah.
it. And I told him, I said, sometimes the thief is you. Sometimes the thief is actually you. And that's why
I love
the
you
whole
so
play,
much.
the play of mirrors in time was the actual focus for interpretations and why I had the mirror on the stage for them to look at I want you to look at yourself when you are saying these things because sometimes it is actually you.
Yeah.
That you are your greatest enemy a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you have come to steal, kill, and destroy. The very thing that you're saying that you actually want, you are taking from you because you sat here and did this for hours, because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
decided to lay down and eat the ice cream instead of walking the block, because you decided to go buy
Well,
this
I'm gonna do
instead of
both.
saving for that. You know what I'm saying? But you decided, going back to
Yeah.
what we talked about before, it's a lot of decisions
You
that
have to
we are
make a
making.
decision.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where people are losing the plot.
Yeah, it requires work. And I think that it's easy to say, you know, everything's going to be fine. Don't be too down about what's happening in the world. And that's the difference between the messages, right? There's always like the message from God that sits with your spirit. And then there's the counterfeit message that seems similar, but it's a little off.
Yeah.
And I would say the counterfeit message is like everything's going to be fine and don't worry about what's going on in the world, without talking about the work behind it.
Yeah.
Is that without saying, oh my God, what's happening in the world right now is really intense. It's
Yeah.
really scary.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's sit in these emotions.
Yeah.
And then how do we move past
Yeah.
it? Or how do we just what action can we have behind it? Like, can you sit and pray for 7 minutes every morning
Yeah.
for the world?
Yeah.
That's better than sitting in despair and
Yeah.
scrolling and being like afraid of what will happen.
Yeah.
At least that you're knowing. And I saw I forget who the creator was, but they talked about like this kind of nihilism that we're kind of moving toward is because people feel like they can't do anything, and they're like, the way to resolve that is to do something.
That's it.
So the thing that helps me like thinking about what's happening in the world is, one, being more visible and being more around,
Yeah.
being more open to people, to having conversations, to hugging people, to sharing love and giving. And also like, what money do I have to donate to a mutual aid fund? Or like
Yeah.
when people are asking for like money online, losing their jobs, like how can I meet that need?
Yeah.
How can I meet small needs that I am able to do, right? And to know that I'm doing something. And that brings about a sort of peace too, because it's like everyone can do something small, but we get frozen when it becomes like, this is bigger than me. And it's like,
Yeah.
technically, nothing is bigger than you. If you're alive, you're still bigger than
Yeah.
it. You,
And
there's still time to
hello,
fight.
hello. And I think honestly, the you almost have to have like what I like to like imagine is like Noah's mentality, right? Like the world is about to go to what the world is about to go to. That's
I
the point.
mean, talk about
You
it.
know what I'm so here's the thing. Here's the thing. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna build a boat. But
Yeah,
I'm not gonna build a small boat. I'm gonna build a big boat, and I'm not just gonna build a big boat. I'm gonna build the boat that God told me to build. And I'm not just gonna build that boat. I'm also gonna build the boat and then do what God said. So going back to what I said before, it's about the confidence. Like you know
yeah,
what's happening around you, you see it, you know
yeah,
that there's nothing you can do about that. So we can't even be like trapped in the idea that we can manipulate that. What
right.
that is going to do. But how are we preparing for the inevitable? Because we know what's been said, we know what is true, we know what
Yeah,
the end or the end into the beginning is
yeah,
going to be, whatever that is. But are we actually taking the actions based off of our faith and confidence in the one who has sent us, the one who has
yeah,
called us, the one who has created us?
yeah,
Or is all of our action just based off what we see?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So when you got the Noah mentality, you know you have to do something about what's coming.
yeah.
That's how you survive it. That's how you have the confidence that you end up on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
And
That's where
that's why artists should keep working.
yeah,
That's why now is not a time to stop creating.
yeah,
That's why now is not a time to abandon your
yeah,
project, whatever. Now is not the time to stop
yeah,
working. That the scripture from the first episode, there will come a time when no man can work. That time is closing in.
yeah,
So we should be working. I
yeah,
mean, that's my thought, is that now is the time.
yeah,
And art is where the thievery is killing that desire in you, robbing you of that desire to create in this environment, because it's like, oh, it seems either disingenuous or selfish or not empathic enough. But I saw I'm gonna butcher this and I'll probably get it wrong, but there was an image of a man in the ruins. I
uh-huh,
don't know if it was Iran or because everywhere is just being obliterated right now and
yeah,
it's awful. But standing in the ruins and sitting in the ruins of his former school where he was a music teacher and he was playing an instrument, and I'm just like, that's what this is. It's the Titanic is going down, but we should be multiplying our gifts, sharing
Yeah.
our gifts that much more,
Yeah.
even in the rubble of
Yeah.
it. Because what else is there to do? Our despair does not help. Our despair actually just lowers the vibration for
Correct.
everybody involved. And
Correct.
then we're all just doing nothing and just
Yeah.
waiting to die,
Yeah.
essentially. And it's like, you can't forget to live while you're here to live. And
That's it.
before whatever hits us, whatever comes our way, whatever, we still have to work and we still get to love and we still get to, for me, I've been feeling everything so intensely, just like small things like this. This is such a good time. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this is an episode. But
Yeah.
but it's just like having meaningful conversations with people about the things that you care about, being able to create with people, being able to put your art out there and to be an authentic and real person and
Yeah.
thing. Like it doesn't, that's what life is about. All
That's
this
right.
other BS we're doing, that's nothing.
That's right.
But just like the art of like being a human and getting to connect with other humans in this
Yeah.
lifetime, we need to get back to how beautiful and special and sacred that is and
Yeah.
really hold on that. Because, best case scenario, we survive this thing, but we're going to have to rebuild. And how you going to rebuild if you don't know how to human?
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Period. Period.
Period.
Because that is what we will have left. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But another step to that. Let's say we don't. Let's just say
Yeah.
we don't, right? At the end of the day, things like this will survive it. We may
Yeah.
not, but
Yeah.
we end up being the next book that was written. It will be we will be the Davids. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
That
yeah.
that wrote
True.
this out, and when the world is rebuilt, and the pages are found, and the USB drives, and this and that, and it carves it all out. The work that we did, this will live on though.
Yeah.
These are the stories that will be told about how the world was and how we conquered it and how we made it and how we got over and the way we changed it. We have to be every day in some capacity writing the new scripture. You know what I'm saying? That will be their book that they
Yeah.
will call upon and see based off the way that we lived our life. Even though we lived in tragedy, even though things were happening around us, it will be the faith that we had, it will be the confidence that we had, the joy that we found. All of those
Yeah.
things will be the
Yeah.
motivation for the next generation of people and thinkers
Yeah.
to find their way. We will be the light. You know what I'm saying? That's why we have to do it right
Yeah.
now while people are watching, and later on when
Yeah.
we're nowhere to be found. That's still why it's our job.
And that's legacy. That's what we've lost
Yeah.
track of. That's why evil has prevailed so much, because you have these 80, 90-year olds
Yeah.
just holding on to power
Yeah.
because they don't understand legacy. And
Yeah.
that's how you know they not for real Christians, because everything in the Bible, everything God talks about is legacy.
Yeah.
The way he blesses is that it lives beyond you.
Yeah.
It goes forward to your
Your
children's
children and your
children. And
children's
you should want
children.
that. And you know what these people are like?
Yeah.
F my children, F all the children,
Yeah.
F all of these people. It's about what I can hold to or onto in this earth. And it's
Yeah.
like we have to be mindful of not taking on that mindset and
Yeah.
understand when something's bigger than us, it
Yeah.
grows beyond you. And
Yeah.
I think that's why we operate the way we do. Everything is like a stingy hoarding of
Yeah.
something. Like, let's not mimic the evil people that
Yeah.
are hoarding wealth right now.
Well,
Let's
well, well.
remember that we're
Sadly,
artists.
sadly, when you are doing that, it definitely shows, a lack of understanding of just yourself as a being. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
are a spirit. You have a soul. You live in a body. So the in the body part means that everything around you, all of the things you can touch, pick up, hold,
Yeah.
all of that's the most temporary part of this whole experience.
Yeah.
That is the most temporary.
Yeah.
So if all of your focus is on what you can hold in your hands, then you already in the way.
You already messing up.
Yeah,
I
you
got
you
news
you
for
you
you.
kind you kind of missed the mark, champ.
Yeah.
You kind of missed the
Yeah.
mark. You know what I'm saying? Because this really is about what you can hold in your heart. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? What you are
Yeah.
holding in your heart. What a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. It's about what is happening on the inside of you, not about what's happening on the outside of you. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
all of this will go away, and then what will still exist?
Yeah.
Who we were at our core.
Yeah.
That will be the difference between how we rebuild and how we won't. You know what I mean? Whether or
Yeah.
not we make it on the boat or not, whether or not we build it or not, whether or
Yeah.
not we make it through the fire or not. All of those things will be based
Yeah.
off what's
We
happening
but we
on the
should be
inside.
preparing.
That's
Yeah.
it. 100%.
And part of that preparation is scriptures like Psalm 91,
That's it.
is finding the positive affirmations that you can say, the prayers that you can say, that start the process
Yeah.
of like speaking life into a thing, and then the action of like, yeah, having faith in that thing. How do I walk in this life unafraid? And
Yeah.
not talking about the BS that is going to work every day in this
Yeah.
dystopian nightmare, but I'm talking about how do you show love to strangers?
Yeah.
How do you, and I love what you said, because the thought is like, how do you move about this life as a spirit? How do you
Yeah.
slowly let go of those tangible things and of the lust of the flesh and all that, and just operate as a spirit? How do you
Yeah.
love that way? I
Yeah.
think I actually really like that. I might have to like adapt that as like a mantra. It's like, let me move through this life as the spirit behind me and
Yeah.
not the vessel,
All right.
and focus on the deep connection
Yeah.
with people, in preparedness,
Yeah.
in I guess ease of
Yeah.
mind. It's
Yeah.
all mental. I don't think people realize, and I think I blame the church for this because
As you should.
you take out certain elements to make people easier to control and get them to do certain things for
Yeah.
you. But God always talks about mental strength. I
That's it.
mean, a lot of my healing for my mental health issues is like spiritual.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that because it's so controversial, and I don't want to, you know, downplay that people do need medication and have like chemical imbalances and stuff. But for me, it's always like a dark, almost like demonic oppression thing. It's like when I start getting to like the whole healing surrounding like sexuality, and realizing that I'm sleeping around because I have emptiness inside of me. There is a God-sized void inside of me, and I'm chasing after
Yeah.
pleasure from other people, trying to feel that when it's a spiritual void.
That's
When
it.
I take that energy that I was putting into trying to find love in different places, and I poured it back into myself, and I poured it into worship, into like loving God, I found that, oh, this makes a lot more sense than me trying to like cover a bullet wound with a small bandage
That's right.
without actually fixing it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a lot to think about. This episode, ooh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this again. I love this conversation. I think this
Yeah.
is like super helpful to know that we're not alone in these thought processes, as
No.
far as like, part of you will feel, well, I don't know, I won't speak for you, but I'll say it feels a little crazy. It's like, I'm doing okay,
Yeah.
like considering everything that's happening in the world. I'm doing okay
Yeah.
considering how horrible last year was.
Yeah.
I did okay, because I understand life now, and I'm a little bit older, and like, that's part of it. People are going to die,
Yeah.
and war is going to happen, and evil is going to try to get away with what evil gets away with, and it's all
Yeah.
about not only how you react to it, how you recover from it, and how you allow yourself to see the silver linings and blessings from it.
Yeah.
And I think collectively, especially on social media and stuff, we rebel against those things. People say, don't tell me it happened for a reason. Don't tell me this. Don't comfort me this way. That ain't it. Like, some wisdom stings, some
Yeah.
things hurt, and that's just what
Yeah.
it is. So,
It,
anyway, lovely conversation,
of
season two,
course.
episode 3.
That's it. And out here healing
Yeah.
from the inside out.
And healing from the inside out. Yeah, it's a lot of work that happens. So it's not just spiritual bypassing. It is actually Psalm 91 type beat. That's what
Yeah.
we on.
That's what we on.
That's what we on.
Bum, bum,
So,
bum. You feel me?
yeah, thank you guys for joining us for season 2, episode 3 of the Everybody Can't Go podcast. We appreciate your time. Watch the playback, hop in the comments, let us know what you think, and share with your homies and your friends. And we will see you again and talk to you later. Peace for now.
Everybody can't